and the next generation of VegOils dishes. So I would want his opinion first on about AI, what they're doing new, and how it can help the editorial industry and all of us in general.
Wow, thanks. But hello everybody. Kathiawad got the Garaj mentioning. But yeah, talking about AI, see, I look at edible oil space to be very interesting. Consumers, consumers को tackle करने के लिए, I mean, the younger ones are, I think, the smartest. They are exposed to the maximum information. Old school ideologies, old school tactics are not going to be too prevalent today. It's the best time to be in India and build brand because communication is getting way too targeted. Where generic advertising होती थी, एक family एक साथ में TV देखता था, so there were 7 to 8 people watching ads. So the advertisement बनती थी वो family के लिए बनती थी. Today while I am creating my advertisements or anything, it is too specific to one person because it is diverted, it is divided down. Everybody has cell phones. 4 बंदे साथ में बैठे but सब अपने phone में. कोई TV साथ में तो देख ही नहीं है. So if at all I'm targeting a housewife or I'm targeting a second generation, a younger audience, my ads, a single ad is not going to work. So at that place, I mean, data points, AI, where the consumer mindset is, how Bombay is behaving, how Delhi is behaving, how Hyderabad is behaving, everything is different. And as a brand, it is a responsibility to create something very unique, something very native, as Anshumali sir also said that they have created differentiated courtesy packaging. So I think we need to go very direct, very native. Small group of audiences differently. So generic advertising, generic policy making, sales strategies are not going to be relevant today. And that's where AI brings in a lot of data points when put together, gives you a certain ideology that this is going to work here. So that's what helps, and that is what we guys are being able to create and also understand where the new age audience is going. So tail लोग खोलते हैं, tail कम खाएंगे and all of that. See, I feel people are getting conscious. Yes, consumption कम होने वाला है जब ज़्यादा ही तेल खाते हैं लोग. So technically, the West, Gujarat, MP, and all the guys consume. I mean, Maharashtra guys consume a lot of edible oil. Comparing it to the nation, right? So our consumption is definitely going down. But at the same time, India is getting more affluent. There is a lot of premiumization happening. Median household income is also increasing a lot. So लोग 1-2 रुपए में इधर जगह लेते हैं. मैं तो बोलता हूँ भाई 20-25 रुपए ट्राई करेंगे, मार्केट तो है. हमारे में जिगर होना चाहिए. पब्लिक देने बैठी है.
Can you give us an example of how you used AI in your company and how it has helped you, or what learnings did you get from it? Any small example.
See, I think it's yet not 100% AI. It's more data points that we have been, consuming or taking from modern trades like, let's say, DMart or quick commerce like Blinkit. So we gather a lot of information, a lot of data points. We put it together. Like Sir also said that they are able to identify their stocks in a Blinkit warehouse in Bangalore. I think they are able to do that. I think on Blinkit, Gulab is available on 220 cities today, not just Ahmedabad. And I am 99% able to judge my stocks on each of their warehouse, not mine. And also back integrated by my depots and then my supply chain factories and all of that. So that is where AI is helping a lot. And definitely AI is reducing jobs. So I mean, it's a conscious call that you want to promote AI and make the big three even bigger of the globe, or you want to give a lot of jobs to our people. So I'm taking it slow. It's better that AI should go slow. I think it's in the betterment of the society, for the country, for now at least.
Good. Thank you. So to start this session, I think I want to go to each and every one of you. So the first question has been a part of Indian diet for decades. How do you view its role in nutrition?
One thing about seed oil, I personally, as a dietitian, I'm reminding myself 3 years back, Dr. Mehta invited me over to Aurangabad, and uske pehle as many customers which clients which came, we didn't have such a good feedback about it as a dietitian. It was only at that seminar that I started actually deep diving and researching, and today I have a completely different standpoint. So I think it's very important that when we're communicating nutrition value, we also have to do a lot of awareness building with healthcare professionals, because एक है कि आप मार्केटिंग कर रहे हो पर उस साइड से वो नेगेटिव हो रहा है. So I think that understanding on both the sides needs to be there. Like you have positioned on it as a deep frying thing, तो उसमें कोई difficult नहीं है. But अगर आज किसी को gossip oil के बारे में if they I would say कि नहीं इसका answer, but with these technologies we've negated it. So I think that communication is what today's consumer needs, and I think that should be communicated in a very effective way. And social media is one of the best ways to do it. And vitamin E oil has different in its nutrition composition. Cotton seed, particularly once it's very high in omega-6, it also has vitamin E and it has vitamin also, so it can be recommended. In fact, some early studies, they've done a small study of 48 people and they've compared it to olive oil and it actually stands better. Yeah, so that data is very interesting. And what I request all of you all is that we need more ingredients. Because current consumer खाली अच्छा है या बुरा है ये नहीं पूछेगा, वो data मांगेगा. So I think data needs to be generated and distributed.
So you have done some research with data with comparing different oils and frying. So if you can shed some light on
Yes,
that.
we've done a research and we found that cottonseed oil is the best oil for frying. You know, after people are using palm oil now, they've got such a taboo that products are writing no palm oil in it. The next best thing to palm oil in frying is cottonseed oil. It should be promoted. I would say the best misinformation is better information. Snack application, and it's a local produce. Like nutritionists say, you should consume what is produced over there to them. You should consume by indigenous local oils available here.
I think I would add an emotional factor to it where making India is huge right now. You know? So I think it's the only edible oil which is refined and still so largely produced in India. So I think I would, double down on that storytelling and make it more emotional. While this is our product, we shouldn't consume something which is imported and all. So I think cotton has a very strong story there. And while groundnut oil is also, increasingly fine because of its market comparative rates and all of that, it's a very palatable taste with groundnut cotton. They are very similar like products. So if somewhere people are consuming groundnut, we should parallel think that cotton will also be consumed today or tomorrow. So that has been the story of Gujarat, right? Whatever is cheaper, the market increases that side, and if groundnut is taking a big market share in India, I think cotton should also follow suit. And vice versa, and cotton was big a couple of years back, yeah.
And I think also the flour and the extract of the protein is the next step, which is very promising. So I think that definitely could be a thing that next in both.
Is really secreted and everyone is feeling the heat. So I think there was some presentation last year about making protein from cottonseed, something very soon from the byproducts. As a nutritionist, as you said, you were in Aurangabad, since then you've been following the story. What difference do you see when you compare something that all the other oils are compared to cottonseed oil? That you've studied for the last 2-3 years, you would have had customers who were talking about refined oils, non-refined oils. How do you explain to them that cottonseed oil is better? What have you personally felt that is? If you, first, I would like to ask you: did you use it till now, or you've not used it?
I used it.
You've used it. So, what have you felt is a difference?
So I think it's a good fit for frying. that's undebatable. It's steady, it has a high smoke point. And today I think explaining to the consumers that okay, when you're frying you need a high smoke point, you need the stability, otherwise it will break into a transparent. That communication is well accepted. And that is when patients or clients come to us, we tell them that when you're frying you use a heat stable oil. Oil rotation, I think it was also previous topic, previous panel's discussion, is depending on the. So we don't really need to say that एक महीने ये लिया, एक महीने ये लिया. I think in an Indian household, आज हम सब कुछ खाते हैं. Like today's afternoon lunch was Mexican, Lucknowi, Italian, and everything. So it was almost a mix of everything, and that is how we eat in a household also. So you have a room for everyone.
I think it is on the similar line what I have been saying for last 2 years. I think the way masalas are in the kitchen, there is different masala for different preparation. I think the next step, logical step for the oil industry is different oil for different purposes, and that is where I think it is slowly moving towards. Maybe the quantities would be like someone would have like 100 ml of other oil, or 500 ml of groundnut oil, or 5 liter of a refined oil. So the quantities might differ, but I think it's changing.
I was about to say that there's no one size fits all strategy. You know, there's not a single oil household. Nowadays, there will be at least 2 to 3 different types of oil in a household. One would be used for occasional deep fry, one would be for regular cooking, and one would be for saute. So I think there are at least 2 to 3 different oils available in every household now.
Patients will say that हम cold press oil लाए हैं और ये अपना वास्ते गैस नो खावे को बच्चे अपने फ्राइंग का पाउडर तो अपने बीजा ऑयल का
But you think as a
almost 90% there. I think it's just a process.
versus cold press oil, how do you differentiate? We are talking about how do we communicate it to customers. Eventually, it is about make someone buy something which is available at a cheaper rate and make them pay such a high premium. What is the?
But I believe that it's about increasing the pie. With cold press, the overall pie of natural oil in India has increased. And I think the biggest market share in edible oil, somebody would have taken a non-edible oil player. Right now, Tata is leading share there. And if you read data points, I mean, Tata would have 10% of groundnut oil category today because of the quick com and everything. So I think somebody else took over our market, which should be somehow internally be divided among our players only. And luckily, Gulab has been there as number 2 player, which is a good part of it.
No, what he's saying I agree because we have all kinds of clients. Now the elite ones want something different, and so it is a good option.
Yeah, but I see at the end of the day the pie is increasing. At the end of the day, how I see natural oil category is growing. Bigger the cold press category gets, the prices are going down. It's getting competitive even today. When we launched, it was a 400 rupee a liter oil. Today, when you see it's 330 rupees liter oil. And mustard oil, if you see it's 250 rupees, 270 rupees average kachi ghani, and the mustard oil cold press is sold. Day by day, the prices are going down, but at the same time, the volumes are drastically increasing, and a new player is entering our edible oil space.
What is next? So the rich want something which is not available to the commoners, which cold press oil is becoming more accessible. Then how do you target those people who are saying कि मेरे को और पैसा खर्चना है, मेरे को और क्या नया करना है?
I think, see, I think rich definitely wants something which is not available in the market. We can't create a new brand for every niche. So I would say, find your category where do we want to sell? Is this India that I want to, cater to? I think if I've thought of my audience correctly, I'll just make products for that people only. Because India is vast. We're talking about 150 crores. We don't need more than 10 crores. 10 crores itself is huge. So I think if we can narrow down to our audience, documentation of what products we want and what belief do we come from as a brand. That's what's, 90% of the questions.
As a nutritionist, what do you see are the common misconceptions in the consumer's minds that we as brands need to address to in our larger forms of advertising or in our communications to address those classical myths or those various things that they might talk to you about which we don't know about? So do you find some things that edible oil players in general should look at these?
Yeah, I think as an industry, processed versus refined versus filtered, these are very big. And the influencers have made a big dent on that. So I think a clear communication on that as an association needs to be there to debunk all these myths. Because, at the end of it, otherwise we don't find a sustainable food reaching every part of India. So I think that is one part that we need to talk about. Claims is another one which we need to address, and today FSSAI, we are all looking at claims. So I think we can only say what it actually contains. Don't oversell it because then that kind of backfires. So, and also that fat today, like when I started as a nutritionist 30 years back, हम लोग फैट ऐसे डाल के when we diet fat तो हमारा हार्ट शेक होता था. आज guidelines have changed. So today 30% of the diet is fats and oils. So वो okay, we are saying that use better quality, use the nuts, the seeds along with the oils. But that zero oil wala concept has actually gone away. In fact, recently FSSAI asked us to write one book on zero oil. We all really objected. So I think the correct messaging of it is required. We have a lot of fat-soluble vitamins which are also dependent on the fats and oils. So definitely required. Quantity is that something awareness can be built because we're also standing on a health challenge. So if you're able to communicate all of that in fact, that have it, but pride is okay, but 80-20 don't use for it, then it's fine. We're not saying but how, we're saying use for 80% healthy cow, 20% healthy and
Shailin bhai, how would you say you are addressing to the issue of miscommunication of what is happening in social media about refined oil, and as a category leader of cottonseed oil, how do you handle your social media communication, and what is the best way you feel that people should address these myths or whatever misinformation is being given to the audiences?
So as I said, the best way to address misinformation is giving better information. Give them the facts, give them the usages of the oil, right usage, and the proportion of usage. That way you are educating your customers. In marketing, we would say we should educate today and sell tomorrow, as opposed to selling today and educating tomorrow. If we educate them today, tomorrow they might become a potential customers, right? So we should give them the facts. Yes, cottonseed oil is good for deep frying, good for, it has a better shelf life. If you want flavor, you should choose groundnut oil because all refined oils are odorless, colorless, right? And similarly, give them the facts. Consumers are wise enough to choose what oil is good for them, what they would like to consume, and for which cuisine.
So, don't you think the communication coming from an edible oil brand is saying that I can defend myself because I am into this category? So, don't you think it is a little, for the consumers, it is a little still misleading because it is only the brand which is communicating?
People will still go and fact check. There are so many ways besides, searching on the internet. There are AI tools available. AI assists and enables people to search rightly for a right product. There will be a lot of information. They'll go and search the website, search the association's website also if they dig deeper. But if you give them the right information, they will feel that they are not cheated and they would have more trust in the brand. There are a lot of influencers coming in for different brands, coming in promoting it, but there is something that they take away from each information that they get.
Your views on
social media, any category?
generally, any misinformation about any product that you are selling is coming onto social media. How do you, as the brand manager or the CEO of the company, address to those issues and what are the steps that you take?
see, there's a lot of information. So let's say there will be correct and the information also, and like Shailin very rightly said that talking negative about something rather than we should focus about talking the good side of what it brings on table, right? What that would get on. Because information is out there. People are very smart. They know everything. Technically, I mean, fooling them is not an option. You can fool today, you can't fool them tomorrow. That's about it. But as an owner or as a brand, our thing should be to tell the truth. So the processes that we follow in the belief that the brand brings on the table, and talk about category in general. Like, while I'm talking about cottonseed today, I'm not talking about the Tirupati or Gulab or Vimal cottonseed. I'm saying in general that cottonseed, we have to make cottonseed cooler again. What I think Uncle did. I think a big fan of Uncle and all the campaigns he's done. I think I've grown up seeing those beautiful orange holding total and total fitness. One of my favorite campaigns. I think that's a campaign to be taken to India now. You being such a fitness enthusiast now, I think you're the best person to take it out there. And see, it's also the time of, working as collaborations, right? And regional players are the new big thing, right? People want the product from that particular region only. And because of the new age supply, people don't mind, and the cost of reaching to the far east or let's say south is getting as below as 15-18 rupees a kilo, right? And that also at a courier charges them. So I think India is opening up for regional players. So I think it is our time. I think we should, just get on to it.
So I would like to ask you, what do you feel as cottonseed oil players, who most of the people in the room are dealing in cottonseed oil, how do you market it to a different industry like let's say Horeca? And because price for Horeca is a very big factor, they will keep coming back to us, कि पान तो 200 रुपए सस्ता है, 250 रुपए सस्ता है, why should we buy? So what are the things that you would suggest that cottonseed oil players do or the various brands do to promoting cottonseed oil in the Horeca system?
Very nice question. So there are different country organizations like the Western India Country Association definitely have a technical session there. Okay, as a general cottonseed, it has great stability for buying, and I think across Horeca we need that. And today also across restaurants, and I work with a lot of chefs. Like I also train at the Indian Navy close to around 3,000 chefs, and I work with a lot of chefs. So I think this knowledge of nutrition and how nutrition varies culinary is very relevant. So I think when I explain कि ये purpose है, this can be used, you will have a stable product and a sustainable product batch after batch. I think there are and plus some health benefits are also there. So the high vitamin E level of the cottonseed will be beneficial. The phytosterol in the oil will be beneficial. So you are not saying that इसमें omega-3 high है क्योंकि है ही, but it can combine it with some kind of an almond smoothie in the combination is fine. They are not expecting one product to have it. So I think that communication that it can be best paired with this so that the competition is a good way to do it.
So now my question to all the panelists, this one is for all of you. I think India is not one country, we have two Indias. One India is eating oil because they need energy, they need fat, and one India is who's trying to avoid oil because they are already so health conscious, they want to run away from oil. Now as a brand, how do you communicate your brand, your cottonseed oil brand to your consumers, keeping in mind both of these Indias, or do you target both of them differently?
See, I think it's about, again, finding your niche, who do we want to cater to and what do we stand for at the end of the day. Because if you ask me, reaching to everybody and, that is not possible. Right? You can't have a communication for everyone. And a brand can't be standing for every Indian household, right? So I feel, finding our own people, who do we want to target to, and what does the product really stand for, right? If the product in itself is not very healthy and we are trying to, have a healthy audience base, which might not work. I would still believe that if the product and the market is right, then we are in the right market fit. And so that is what we need to cater to. We need to find what really cotton is used for and how it's being used today and how it might be used in future, right? If it all, it's not, let's say, if you want to make it even more healthier, we could bring a blend of cotton with, let's say, olive or sunflower, I don't know, it could be of anything, maybe cotton and sesame could be to just make it more palatable, maybe more nutritious. So see, India is there, they want to, have the right products, what they believe in. And as I said, we do in a big market, consumer base. And as small as the crore is enough.
A little different there. I think today you have the limited. It gives you exact targeted pin code data. Even within the pin code places data. And I think you can have it. Because जो undernutrition segment है, उसका need ही different है. जो affluent section है, उसका need different है. So the campaign used to have a promote on, but the campaigning and the messaging needs to be different. In an affluent session, you say that okay, you have it, but ensure that you're going for a run or doing your exercise. In that way, you are justified. Those guys are already manual laborers who इतना काम ऐसे भी करे उसको भी किया. So I think messaging or even cooking practices, choice of culinary.
With social, we can geo-target each and every pin code, every region. I would say we don't only have India and Bharat. Within Gujarat, we have Gujarat and Saurashtra and Kathiawad and Kutch Bhuj. So we have to target each region separately. Their preferences are different, so we need to show them and provide them the product that they prefer in each region. So I think we have to have a different communication for each region and each geography that we are targeting.
A follow-up to you. Are there any lessons that India can take from international countries about cottonseed oil, how they marketed it, how they positioned it, and what are the extracts that you can take from there and we can use that in India to the same audience?
See, cottonseed oil is very popular for frying and bakery industry and snack application. Besides China and India, which are the largest producers of cottonseed oil, in Brazil and United States of America also around 300 to 400,000 tons of oil, cottonseed oil. They are using it in the bakery industry, snack application, and it is growing at a CAGR of 3.5 to 4% over there, as opposed to 2.5% in India. And it is gaining acceptance in those countries. So we should also popularize cottonseed oil across India for its application. If you try to sell cottonseed oil to the north or the south, they would not accept it. But for its deep frying properties, for its applications in bakery industry, that is where we should promote it, even to the institution, who are, people are seeing the labels, and if they are seeing palm oil or vegetable oil into it, they do not prefer that. Cottonseed oil is a very good substitute. So there's a lot of potential in HoReCa industry if we educate them well.
Study भी था actually because we spoke about the US market on corn oil and cottonseed and corn oil did much better than the cottonseed did very good than the corn oil. Again, the study was small, but I think more can be done. And